I was drawn to the sound spa because I have struggled with anxiety. And when I heard what could happen, I was intrigued. And so I decided to test it out, and it helped me in more ways than I could have ever imagined. It's a tightness in my chest. If it gets bad enough, my heart starts racing, it'll turn into a panic attack. And those are difficult, crying, unable to really get your brain to get out of, I call it trauma mode. Oh, it took over my life. It impacted my life because it was a daily issue that I had. So anytime that something would come up, it would be a issue, and my anxiety would start peaking, and I could feel it peaking. And I've been going through a divorce for almost 4 years now, and especially at the beginning and when the kids were around, they could even feel my anxiety peak, and I needed something that wasn't medicine to help me. They My anxiety impacted the boys because they knew when I was sad, they knew when I wasn't myself, and they could sense that. And like even recently, my older son, he said, "You're happy now." And I like that you're happy because I feel like I missed out on a lot with you because you were sad for so long. I keep coming back because I don't feel the tightness in my chest anymore. I couldn't tell you the last time I had a panic attack. I've come in having a panic attack and I'll leave like 80% better. And that's unheard of. There's nothing else that can touch my anxiety the way that the sound spa can. I am more grateful to you and the sound spa because I don't know where I'd be. I don't know that I'd be here if I didn't have it, honestly. Or I'd be on medicine and highly medicated, and I don't like the feeling. My life has improved in so many ways. I've been in a relationship for over a year now. I never thought that could happen. My relationship with my kids, I can do things when I want to do them. If my anxiety was bad, I couldn't go out and do stuff with them. It would limit our what we could do or who could come over. If their friends wanted to come over, it would. I shut down for a while and didn't even want to be social. And now I'm good with going out again and living my life. And I have days at work where it's really stressful. And even my boss, you need to go to the sound spa because he can tell the difference when I've been. you don't have the high, you don't have the highs and the lows as much. Where like I would have extreme high, extreme happiness or extreme sadness, and not bipolar and not like that, but like I don't even feel the need to fight with Jeremy. If we get into something, he doesn't understand why I'm not mad. I'm like, I'm not mad. Like, it's just, I have a feeling about it. Like, I don't get angry. And I still have happiness. I still feel, but it's not, my body's not constantly in fight or flight mode. Impact on my life. It's changed my life in more ways than I could ever even imagine. It's given me a freedom that I didn't think I'd ever get back. It's given me hope. It gives me peace. It gives me happiness again. So, you know what Jeremy said about the sound spa, right? Okay. So, Jeremy and I came here for our first date, and he was like, I thought they were going to bring out snakes and make us drink Kool-Aid. When I describe the sound spa, I just tell people it's a place where you go, you lay down for an hour, they play the music, the gongs around you, and the chimes, and you just relax and zone out and find peace. When I first started coming to the sound spa, when I would lay down, I usually would fall asleep. And it was just, I couldn't even get past. Like, I would maybe make it 5 minutes and I'd be asleep. And that still happens sometimes where I can fall asleep. But there's times when I come here and I'm exhausted and I'm like, I'm going to sleep for the next hour. And I don't sleep at all. And I just zone in and think about things and process everything. There's times when sometimes I can actually focus on what's going on around me. You can feel the music going through you, which is crazy intense sometimes, but it's just amazing what the feeling is when it goes through you. So if the gong is around you, you can feel the vibrations just move through. A lot of the times it's through my chest because that's where I feel my anxiety. So if I'm having anxiety issues, you can actually feel it moving through you, and it's just a peaceful feeling and just calming and just a happy place. It's different. And when you think something's going to happen, I'm walking in here and I'm like, I'm going to be up the whole time, and you just zone out and it's gone. Something that I didn't expect from the sound spa I didn't really know what to expect from the sound spa. I've never done anything like this before. I've gotten massages. They call me a hippie, but I didn't really know what to expect from it. But I was going to do anything I could to find the peace that you had talked about and that I needed. And so now I don't know what I would do if I didn't have it. If I'm having a bad day, if it's a day that the sound spa is happening, I'm going to cancel whatever it is, almost anything to get here and make sure that I have the sound spa to take care of me. I can't imagine my life without the sound spa. I just can't. Like when I look at my budget, the sound spa has to be there. There's just not even that's never going to get canceled out of my budget. I would do something to make the money to get my monthly dues. It's cheaper than therapy. It's cheaper than the medicine. It's cheaper than anything else that I would have to do. And eventually it would be going to the hospital because if it gets bad enough, what are you going to do? You can't fix it without something. And I didn't want the medicine because the side effects just were horrible for me. There's all sorts of side effects, and a lot of it's depression, and it makes it worse. So even if it fixes the anxiety, then you get the depression side effects, and it's not worth it. I was on one medicine that made me sleep all the time. That's all I did was sleep. I couldn't wake up when I was in college. I've had anxiety since college, probably. I honestly think Kevin started my anxiety. That was the trigger for my anxiety. Not that it was ever great. Like my childhood wasn't great, but him, that's the first time I had a panic attack was when I was with him. I remember we were supposed to go to a drag show one night and I couldn't go because I was having a panic attack. And I was so sad because I really wanted to go.
Yeah. What do panic attacks feel like for you or look like?
So my heart starts racing, and then it's like thoughts of dread, like just this is never going to end. Is this what it is? And it can turn into like more depression, suicidal thoughts. I've learned to control those. I learned to control those even before the sound spa, but there's still times when, you know, going through what I've been going through for as long as I have been, you just get tired. When I come to the sound spa, I sleep through the night, guaranteed. When before the sound spa, it was almost guaranteed that I'd be up between 2 and 4. And if I don't come for a while, I'm still up between 2 and 4, 3 and 5. But I don't have the issues with sleep that I used to, and I sleep more soundly. I know that there was one time here when I was in a session and I didn't even wake up at the end, when the talking started again. I was so zoned out and I was not even tired when I came in that day. So I needed something. I was not emotionally regulated before I started at the sound spa. I definitely had a short fuse. I'd get angry. When my anxiety was bad, I would definitely have an even shorter fuse. So if the kids were doing something to trigger me, it would be a lot faster of a response. Now, I still have times with them where I get upset because they're 10 and 13, but it's not anywhere near where it was. And I catch myself a lot faster and I don't get as angry as I did. And a lot of the times, like when they would leave before, I would get really mopey and sad and emotional. And I don't see that as much anymore either. But like I said, you don't have the highs or the lows as much as the anger and sadness is not as prevalent. I realized the other day, my relationship with my mom hasn't always been the greatest. And within the last probably year and a half, she and I have started talking again, and I'm more patient with her. I don't have as short of a fuse with her either. So it's actually brought us closer. With my boyfriend, he and I, we don't fight. Neither one, we both have had a history of partners who had a lot of fighting, and we don't really fight. We both just talk through it and work through everything, and it's really nice. We've never had a fight. Like we've had stuff, but we don't get into fights. And even the other night, he certain things will trigger me. He bought a motorcycle to part out for another motorcycle, but it was like a last minute thing, and I was expecting to be with me that whole evening, and it was Super Bowl Sunday, and I started panic. I went into panic mode, and I knew that it was happening, and I still got upset and not like angry, but I was just like I needed a minute, and I caught it and I said, look, I don't know why I had the reaction that I had. I don't care that you're going to get this motorcycle, but this is what happened. I can recognize it now and correct the issues, even if there's a little bit of something here and there. I love the recorded meditation. If you could even record, I watch or I listen to gongs. I look that up specifically and I'll listen to that if I have issues. If you guys had something, if you would record a session, I would probably listen to that nonstop. I think it would be cool if you did something with a journal, like you had people come in a little bit early to journal how they were feeling, and then after the session, journal. Because I don't always remember how I was feeling when I come in versus when I leave. I know I feel good whenever I leave. And if I'm having a panic attack when I come in, I remember how I feel. But there's times where I just don't feel 100%, and I just need to get back up to where I was. I think anytime you're working with somebody with anxiety or depression, they are seeking ways to help themselves outside of the medicine. I know my brother told me one time when I was having a panic attack to look at pictures from our vacations and think about that time. And even like when I've done meditation stuff, it's think of your happy place and think of that. And so my happy place is St. John. There's a private beach on St. John. That's my happy place. So even teaching like that kind of stuff, visual. Yeah. I wish that when I started my journey of being a hippie, how many tools there are out there that aren't medicine, that aren't the mainstream, what people automatically go to, because your doctors don't know all the time. If they're, unless they're homeopathic, they're not going to know that there's other options besides the medicine. And when you're taking these medicines that are causing side effects, it's going to impact your world just as much, if not more, as what your anxiety or depression is going to be impacting your life. And it's going to make it worse. And there's people that one of the side effects is suicide for some of these drugs. And that's what you're trying to avoid. When I started this journey, I wish that I knew how many tools there are out there. And you just kind of have to find the ones that work for you. The sound spa is what works for me. Meditation, exercise. It's all ways to better yourself. Journaling. You have all those things and you're using the tools, your anxiety and your depression is going to get better. I feel like for me, like this is enough value. Like honestly, like just being able to come here and know what it provides. I think at the beginning, I maybe emphasize more like I know that they talk about it at the beginning. You might cry, you might have this, you might have that, but just understanding that everything is normal, but nothing is really normal because you've never experienced it before. So no matter what your reaction is to it, it's normal for you. And there's not really a way to tell what's going to happen. But if you continue coming, that you're going to feel these results and it's going to make your life better. I know that I've come in here, like I used to have really bad low back pain and I've left with no back pain. I couldn't, unless I sleep on my stomach, I end up sleeping on my stomach. I don't have back pain anymore. When you come in here, if you don't know how to meditate, like Jeremy came in here, he couldn't, he was on his phone. He didn't know how to just rest his brain.
Yeah.
And so if you don't understand that, you're not going to probably appreciate this as much. I almost think you need like beginner meditation. Teach them how to, it could just be breathing exercises. I forget which way you breathe in to slow down your heart rate. It's teaching your brain to shut down in a world that's not normal. And you have to really reteach